All right, it is time to do a good old-fashioned hatching video. Got our Amazon box here with some eggs in it. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You guys don't think I would actually drop a box with eggs in it, would you? We've got our precious box right here. Let's see what we got in here. One of the fun parts of always seeing an eBay shipment, we did get these eggs off eBay, we like to do that, is to see how people package them. And this one does not disappoint. Check it out. Put one big thing of bubble wrap all the way in there and then individually wrapped each egg in some bubble wrap. Some of them got pretty close to the edge, but there was bubble wrap underneath. So we've got egg number 1. What do you guys think this egg is? I know you kind of know what eggs we got. Do you even know the specifics of these eggs?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, so we were sold 10 guinea eggs and we end up with 12 here. They're actually lavender blue guineas. I'm a sucker for the lavender color. Of course, we love our lavender Orpington chickens. And we've never had any guineas before, and you guys have been requesting us to hatch them out, to have some, and we would love to have some. To be some tick hunters, to be some free-range bug eaters out on the property. And it's pretty late in the year, they're gonna hatch. This is the last week of September, so they're gonna be hatching the last week of October in about 26 to 28 days. So we're gonna let these settle overnight, and we're gonna start them incubating in the morning. All right, it's the next day and we're gonna put these eggs into the incubator. We're keeping this incubator out here in our outbuilding. Even though this is not a finished garage, this incubator does a great job maintaining temperature, a lot better than most of the tabletop incubators that just have really thin walls. This has really heavy duty walls and will hold the temperature right around 99.5, 99.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and will keep the humidity right around 40%. And the beauty of the Brinzy Ova Easy Advance and the trays they use, you can resize these trays to however wide you need, from emu eggs to pheasant eggs to guinea eggs. Turn that back on. And now we just wait till the 3rd week of October, about October 22nd, 24th, and we'll hatch out some guineas. All right, it is go time. A couple days earlier than I expected, but we got the big camera out, and that means somebody's starting to hatch. I just happened to glance in while I was refilling the humidity pump right up here, and check it out right there. This egg is starting to pip. So here in the Brinzy Ova Easy Advance, that means I need to stop the rotating. So I can do that easily enough with this right here.
I can see it. I can see it eggs.
Yeah, hang on just a second. I'll show you in a second. And these eggs in here are being separated by those little dividers. And we don't need those now that it's gonna be a free-for-all in hatching. So I can take those dividers out. So we've got some pipping going on here.
Oh, I hear it.
You wanna check it real quick? Any peeping?
Oh, hear it. I think I need to get away from that loud noise.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's some peeping. Definitely.
I hear all the people. Oh wow, yeah, you're right. I hear it.
You hear it? What's it sound like?
Beep, beep, beep.
That's right. Oh yeah, there's one.
Where?
Right there. Listen.
Oh yeah. I want to hear it. I think all.
Oh yeah. All right, so it's still a little early to be recording, but I'm gonna get the camera in place. I don't know, they might be there in the morning. I'm not sure. Is it worth the risk to not film it? I better film it. I better film it just in case. So I'm gonna get the camera ready and get it set up to see if anything hatches by the morning.
You're gonna open it?
What do you see in there?
Chicks.
They're guineas.
Oh, so that one's off, dude. Maybe that one's. That one's wet.
All right, so we've had a busy day of hatching over the last 24 hours or so. And I've got 5 guineas in here that have already dried off, have been in here for about 24 hours. I've got 2 that just hatched that are up here. And then we've got at least 1 more egg that I'm hopeful will hatch. The other 4 haven't done anything. So those guys will move to here. These guys are gonna move over to the other spot. So these guys here, so they don't dive bomb off these shelves, we've got a tray that actually holds them in here and can keep them warm, but then they don't dive bomb off the side and fall to the bottom of the incubator.
That's not made for like genius.
Yeah.
The bigger one.
Oh, turkey got out.
Wait. Hello.
There you go. Alright, back in. Alright, so our timeline is a little skewed because we actually got some guineas maybe 3 weeks ago. And we put that out in a video, but we actually bought the guinea eggs before we ended up getting those guineas. And it was kind of a fluke thing. We weren't planning on getting those. Our favorite traveling hatchery, Heartland Hatchery, actually came through town, called us to come over and visit, and we saw the guineas and we were thinking, hey, this would be really cool to get some of these other kinds of guineas while we have these lavender guineas baking in the incubator. So there's something we can do that's kind of cool with this brooder. I do have another brooder. If I need the space, I can get that out. But I can actually divide this up. I've actually got 3 separate areas. There's a wall down here in the bottom, but the problem is I've got to clear out some of the feed and the wood chips in here to get to it. Create a 2 by 2 foot section for these 5 guineas, and then the other 16 or so chicks and guineas can live on the other side of this room. These are our 3-week-old pearl guineas, only a few weeks, and they are that different in size. All right, we've got our brooder set up with food and water, and I just need to move all these chicks back. Let's see if we can do it without them escaping. Now it's time for the new guys. Alright, we're running out of time for these eggs to hatch, and this one got pretty far along and it just feels like it's not moving at all. It just feels rock hard. I don't know if it dried up in here or what, but I wanted to check it real quick. If there was any movement at all, I would leave it alone and let it hatch out on its own. I think it may have dried up and died inside this egg. Little guy just couldn't make it out. Two of the guinea keats wandered off from the heat and they died. I think they're both dead. Oh my gosh, one's still alive. This one's been away from the heat, but it's still moving. Oh. Let me get it some heat. This one's doing really well. But for the moment, it's all alone in there. Let me take this one in, see if I can give it some heat. Maybe nurse it back to health, we'll give it a shot. You still alive? I can't tell if this one's dead or not. So last night we had a couple of these guineas that a couple were looking good, 1 or 2 were not looking so hot. Let's see how they're doing. All of them are still alive. So these guys are all doing really well in here. They all survived the night, all 4 of them. But I'm really worried about that spot in the other brooder. It's just too cold out there. And those guineas were wandering away from the heat. And one died and one is really close to dying. So I need to see if I can still revive that one. But I need to come up with a better brooder scenario. I do have the brooder that I used for the Mandarin ducks. Becky suggested using that. And I think I can get that box up and running. And that has a heat plate I can put in it. And so they can be underneath the heat all the time. So I'm finding it hard to keep this guinea alert and awake to feed it some food and water. You know what? I've got an idea. Some of you guys might find this cringy, but I think it might just work. Come on, little guy. You gotta make it. This was one of the two that you thought was dead this morning.
You're kidding me.
What do you mean? It's one of the two.
Stiff.
One of them was dead, and it wasn't that stiff. One of them was, and then this one was off to the side. It was off to the side against the wall.
Yeah.
And wasn't moving, but then I picked it up, and it was started moving.
I moved him.
Did you?
Well, there
were two.
Two laying right on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
He was like stuck down in the groove.
Yeah, it's this one. So I've been putting it by the heater all day and feeding it food and water, and it's starting to do really good.
Cute one. I like its color.
All right, well, our little guinea keat is doing a million times better, getting around really well now. Came back from the dead today. It's pretty amazing. And I'm ready to put him back with the other ones that are doing well, but we've got some walking issues with some of them. But I marked his or her leg for the time being with a little yellow band, and we're gonna call this one Fievel because of what we did before. But I brought in one of the ones from outside, and it's got a serious splayed leg issue, and its legs are just severely far apart. And I think we've got a couple others that are very similar, so they're having an issue getting around. So we're gonna deal with that tonight, and we're gonna put Fievel back with the other one. All right, I saw a cool way to deal with splayed leg, and that's to cut a little straw. Oh, hang on. Take a little rubber band, feed it through it, and then the rubber band will hold on either side of that straw. Now we just need a guinea. Guinea's got splay leg going on, and then we've got it around his ankles. All right, little buddy, let's go for a walk. So we got splayed leg, and this little guy is walking really well. We need to call in a Hail Mary with these guinea keats. They have been dropping like flies the last few days. We had 6 of them to start with. Well, you saw one die the first night they were out in the brooder, wandered away from the heat, and Fievel almost wandered away as well. The next night 2 more died in the cold when we put them out under the heat plate. So we brought them inside, and then we had 1 or 2 die inside in the last day or 2. And so now we're down to 2, and one of them is doing really well, and one of them is just really weak and was doing really well this morning. I just cannot understand it. But we have one last chance to save them with our broody hen. We have Annie, our red cochin, and she's been sitting on eggs, and I don't think she's sitting on eggs that are gonna hatch. They were left unattended for a few hours, maybe a week ago. So I need to see if I could sneak these guys under her. Just leave them in there with the eggs, see if she'd start to take care of these guys, and maybe she can revive them and get them to eat. Just gonna cover them up, keep them warm. We'll check back in a little bit. Hey guys, what's going on, Bamboo? All right, it's the moment of truth. The one guinea keat last evening when I put them under Annie had already died. It wasn't doing well, and it stopped walking, and it didn't last long there. So we have one chance left. We have Fievel left with Annie. And I'm so nervous because it got down into the 30s last night at how Annie did, but we were having such an issue heating all of these guineas. So let's see if our one lavender guinea has survived the night. Yay! Fievel, you made it! All right, well, this is the end of our adventure. Think Fievel will make it?
Yes.
I think so too. I wish we had thought of that sooner. We might have been able to save a few more guineas, but heating was an issue. Something about them, they're just fragile. But with our last group of chicks, we didn't lose a single one. So it's frustrating to not be able to control nature like you'd hope, but we're excited that Fievel has a mom to raise them. So
thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time, guys.